All right, let's talk about different Revit users now. We're going to start to create some local files. I think I still have some stuff checked out. I might have relinquished some stuff after I created that central file, but that'll show up when we start to create our local files, which we will do now. So I have two versions of Revit open, two copies of Revit. I have this one, and I'm just going to click over here, and I have a different Revit. So watch my screen. This is Revit user 1 over here, Daryl. Okay, Daryl has the light screen with the toolbar, quick access toolbar on the bottom, and Bob is working on the network, and his Revit is here, and he has the dark colors with his quick access toolbar. So Bob and Daryl. Okay, now how do you distinguish? How does Revit know the difference? When you go up to your Revit and your application pull down and you go to options, under general here it has your username, and that automatically gets plugged in, I think, by your Windows login. But so that gets put in there, and you can change this if you want, but for the most part you leave it there. So Revit knows who you are when you're opening and working with your file. So there's Daryl right there. Good. Okay, now let's go over to my other Revit, over to this Revit over here, and I go up to here and I check my options, and this is Bob. So Bob is using the dark toolbars like this, and Daryl is using the lighter toolbars. Okay, so two different versions of Revit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create our local files. So now, working as Daryl, the user Daryl, what you don't want to do is to just click on here, because that actually opens the central file. And the first thing you'll notice is the save button will be grayed out. It won't allow you to go save when you open a central file directly. You should not open a central file directly. You make a local copy. So what we do here is, instead of just picking on it, which is a no-no, we say open. And then from there we go to our Y drive and we go find that file. Y, Worksets Projects, Gallery, there it is, Central Gallery. And we click on there, look, right here. Create new local file. Okay, if you want to detach and create a file that's connected, you can detach from Central. We'll do a separate lesson on that. So for the most part, the purpose here is to create a new local file. And you'll notice that as soon as you pick on a Revit file, Revit knows that's a central file, not just by the name. It just knows it is, because it is, and it prompts you to say create new local file. Okay, which we definitely want to do. So we say, okay, we're going to open the central file, but we're going to create a new local file. Boom, we hit OK, we hit open, Revit opens up, and now we have our new local file. The first thing we want to do here is save it, not with the word central, on our C drive. So we've opened up the central file as a local file. We go in here and we say save as project. Okay, and I'm going to put it somewhere on my local drive under documents. I'll make a new folder called Daryl's, Daryl project, Daryl local files. Okay, double click. And inside of there, I can make another folder. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to take this and get rid of the word central and put my name in there. So Daryl local files, Daryl gallery. Oh, actually I shouldn't say that. There's the nice feature right there. It automatically plugs in my name at the bottom there. And I always say put your name at the front or the back, and now of course Revit in the last few versions, it automatically does that. So when you do a save, after you've opened up a central file as a local file, it automatically plugs your name in the back end of it. Perfect. We don't have to do anything. Okay, so we hit, I didn't even have to change that. So folder, local. The key is this is on my C drive, right? This is locally on my C drive. Computer goes faster now. So local drive, there's my name, save it. Aha! Now I have a local file synchronized and connected back to my the central file. So watch, if I go up here now to collaborate and I pick on my work sets, okay, it still has, because I'm the one, Daryl's the one that created this, it still has this stuff checked out. So when I go into Bob and Bob creates his new local file, he's not going to be able to edit anything until I relinquish this. This is all part of it. So I'm just going to pretend I don't know this, and I'm going to leave Daryl checking this stuff out. Revit automatically handed this stuff back. So that used to have my name in it, but it automatically handed these things back. But the user created ones, it left me checking them out. So I'm going to say, okay, I was unaware of that, so that's all fine. And now I've saved my new file called Gallery Daryl on my C drive. I can go in here and just do a regular old save from here on in. Before I close this file, I want to synchronize. Every time you close your file, you want to synchronize. Do you want to relinquish the objects or not? I should relinquish them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Central, Synchronize with Central, and I'm going to say and modify settings. Okay, and I have the option inside of here, if I have things out, user created work sets, I'm going to, after synchronizing, relinquish the following work sets. User created work sets. So what's going to happen is now I'm going to hit OK. It's going to synchronize my local file with that central file on the Y drive. Okay, and it's also going to relinquish the work sets. Now these two work sets are no longer edited by me. We're going to talk lots and lots about this. So I've made my local file, and while I was at it, I saved my file, synchronized with the central file, and I checked off the relinquish button. Okay, I can't relinquish anything now because I don't have anything checked out. Revit knows if you have things checked out, because if you don't, none of these options are available. Good. So then all I have to do is say, okay, good, and I can say close this off. Okay, that's perfectly fine. I'm back to normal. There's my file. Now for the most part, Daryl, I can pick on here. Here I go. I went for my coffee break. I'm back in. I open up my local file. This is on the C drive. I'm working. As I'm working, I'm going to need to check out some work sets. Okay, in the meantime, next door to me is Bob. Okay, here's Bob. So Bob says, I'm on the project. I need to do this too. So what does he do? He does exactly the same thing. Don't pick on here. Say open. Okay, and the first thing I should say, escape here, is if I go to my big purple R, under options, you can see Bob is there. That's the name it's going to put at the end of my file when I try to save it. Okay, so I go in here and I say open. I'm going to go open. I'm going to go to that Y drive. I'm going to go to my work sets, gallery project. I'm going to pick on that central. Definitely make sure it says create new local file. In it goes. So Bob opens up the same file, and you'll notice that I've got the background set to be black, so you know the difference between the two different users. So here's Bob. He's working away. He probably wants to turn on his project browser and his properties. Okay, so there's Bob. Bob's now opened up the central file, and he's going to do a save too and create a Bob local file. So Bob's in here, and he goes up here, and he says save as. Save as project. Okay, I'm going to go to Bob's computer, and under his computer, he has a different setup. Under my documents, he's going to create a new folder called, Bob local files. Click out, double click in here, and look what it's got. It's appended Bob's name, so I'm going to get rid of the word central and just leave the Bob on the end. Gallery Bob. And this is being saved on the C drive. That's the key. Okay? And done. So now I've made another local copy of that central file under a different username. So now, for the most part, Bob can continue working away, but he needs to check some work sets out. So what he has to do, he goes up to Collaborate, he goes into Work Sets, and he says, okay, nothing's been checked out. So he can go in here to Work Set 1, and he says, okay, I want to make this editable. That's it. Work Set 1 is now owned by Bob. I hit okay, and Bob's got it checked out. So Bob's working away, and he should be going in here and doing Synchronize with Central. Okay, but he's not going to relinquish anything. Okay, don't check this off. He's just done some work. He hits OK, and then he synchronizes Okay, and he might even go up here and then do a regular local save. This saves the local file. This is really what saves to the central file. So everything's tickety-boo, and all of a sudden, here's Daryl over here. Okay, so Daryl wants to go check out a work set. So he's the first thing before you do that, you do a lot of this is you say synchronize with central. You synchronize. Now what's happening is I'm going to reread that central file and I'm going to discover Bob has checked out workset 1. If I go up to here in my worksets, look at this. Bob has checked out workset 1. Is it editable by me? No, because Bob owns it. But I can go into here and change this to say yes. What if I try to change this to say yes? It's going to say you cannot make this editable because Bob's got it. So I hit close. So Daryl's going to check out shared levels and grids. Hit OK. Daryl goes up, synchronize with central. I'm not going to relinquish. I'm going to keep my stuff, but I'm going to send that information back to the central file. So that's very good. Now we go over to Bob. Here's Bob. Bob also does the synchronize with central because he wants to reread what's been going on. When Bob does a synchronize with central, he's going to find out that Daryl has some work sets checked out. So I go to worksets in Bob, and it says Bob can edit workset 1, but Bob cannot edit workset grids and levels because Daryl has it checked out. Okay, so we hit OK. So Bob's working on workset 1 over here. Daryl's working on levels and grids over here. Everything's perfectly fine. At the end of the day, what do? We say save. Saves a local file. Then we go in here and we say synchronize with central and relinquish all user created work sets. Okay, and then we close. File, close. And that's how you end your day. Okay, now we're over with Bob. Okay, Bob's working away. He's done for the day. What does he do? He goes up, he saves. Okay, then what does he do? Synchronize with central, relinquishes all of his user created stuff. Look, save local file before and after synchronizing with central. So literally, if you check this, all you have to do is synchronize with central. It'll save the local file, synchronize with the central, save with the local file again, and close it. There's a lot of saving when you're dealing with work sets. So relinquish, save, hit OK, close it off, and then close. Okay, so now here's Bob. He's done for the day. Here's Daryl. He's done for the day. In the meantime, the central file back on the server has been updated with everybody's changes.